Srila Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Srila Pravishta Satchidananda Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Srila Pravishta Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Shri Gauri Vedanta Charya Srila Baladev Jagushan Prabhu ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Nartam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Chaya ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopal Ratadas Kavanath Sagar Swami Prabhu ki jai. Shri Surup Damodar Roy Ramananda Shri Gopal Shri ki jai. Namachandra Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Shri Aditi Mayapur Shri Matadeep Gauradeep Majadeep Gauradeep Vijadeep Janadeep Majadeep Viduva Padmakashri Navadeep Dham ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Govardhan Dwala Sabaramaka Shri Raj Mandala ki jai. Shri Shamakund Radhakund Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi ki jai. Yogamaya Purnamasi ki jai. Gopishwar Mahadev ki jai. Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudasan Chakratu ki jai. Shri Purushottam Chaitra ki jai. Shri Shinga Bhagavan ki jai. Bhakta Prabhashi Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Ansagati Prabhu, can I just use your, what's it called? Your Wi-Fi for a minute? Because
my light?
Your hotspot. Your hotspot on your phone. If you can just give me that for a few minutes. You have one on your phone?
No.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Because before we begin, I want to speak something about Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, and it's on my email, Gmail, but now my phone is being used for the Facebook, so I'll just load it onto here, and then I can read it from here. It was from Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj.
Can you skip this?
Let's see. It's on?
Oh, you're doing it in the kitchen. It's on, yeah.
Let's see. Oh, iPhone, yeah. It's showing, but it's not connecting, so you have to give me the password for that. Let's see. Incorrect password for iPhone. Yeah. Let's see. Is it called iPhone? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Yeah, okay.
You don't want to tell it to the Facebook community?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, it's connected.
I don't know why. But...
Okay. I don't know if this is what they read this morning.
We read just the biography on, like it was just his biography on his website.
Oh, on his website. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Then we'll read this. It's let me see. Short. It's short, and then we'll start now. Would you put it on? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jataha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Shri Gurun Dinataranam Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Chise Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namah Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I'm offering my Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Diksha and Siksha Gurudevs, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And my Dandavat Pranams on this transcendental disappearance day of Param Pujapad Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. And my Dandavat Pranams to all of my Sri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, my Dandavat Pranams to all the Vaishnavas and all the Vaishnavis. So we're today beginning the first words of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama. And I've gone over the number of verses. There are 18 chapters. Some of the chapters are shorter, some are longer. So I'm trying to estimate how much time it will take to properly read through the whole book. But at any rate, today is what is it today? The 20th? 20th, yeah, Saturday the 20th. So 20th, 21st, 27th, 23rd. Oh, so actually, yeah, 28th is the Purnima. So we really only have 8 days, not 9 days, including today. So I'm reading, first of all, to honor His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. I just want to say that Yeah, I've had his holy darshan a number of times over the years, but I've also heard so many of his glories from his disciples, and especially Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and yeah, he's a very powerful Vaishnava. I also went preaching, and I went to Mexico. I went to your country, Mexico. Yeah, and I met one disciple, I don't remember his name. I think he was on the outskirts of Mexico City, had a big house. And he told me all these pastimes when Srila Puri Maharaj was staying at his house. Huh?
Cuernavaca, that's the name of the town.
Yeah.
It's like it's blue, nice, with the spring like.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cuernavaca.
And who was the devotee?
I don't remember the name of the devotee.
Yeah, he's a little older.
Yeah.
Right, and he told me when Srila Puri Maharaj was living in his house, all the various exchanges that he had with him. So Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj is a very, very powerful Vaishnava. He did so much powerful preaching while he was here on this planet. And he had a very special relationship with our Gurudev also. Something that I didn't know was that Srila Puri Maharaj used to come all the time along with his disciples in the earlier period on the Braj Mandala Parikrama, and quite often stay at the Keshavji Gaudiya Mat while Gurudev and Srila Vaman Raj and the others were, and they would join in because they didn't have any place in Vrindavan. So they joined in. So there's a long relationship there. And Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Maharaj, he was also very attached to our Srila Prabhupada. Of all the different God brothers, he's probably the only one that used to refer to our Prabhupada as Prabhupada, he actually would say. And that's why Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Maharaj calls him Prabhupada. I'm not faulting any Gaudiya Mat personality if they don't call, because it's okay that they call Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj and so forth. It's okay. We're not faulting them. But the special kind of rasa that he had, he honored so much. And there are videos, actually, that would be a nice thing to watch, is the YouTube video of him being asked to tell his memories. He weeps like in that video. It's such an amazing video. And he was such a strong, very powerful, austere personality. Barely any of his disciples could serve him, could become his servant. I've heard this. Yeah, there was one, I'm not sure who was the disciple that ended up serving him. It might be Bhakti Vichara Vishnu Maharaj, who was able to actually be with him, because he was like a thunderbolt, you know? He was like that. So let's read a little bit about what Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharaj is telling. Today is Pujapad Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj's Tirubhav Titi. Although he appeared in a lineage of high-class Kavirajas, that means expert Ayurvedic doctor. So he chose to become a Matvasi, although he came in such a lineage. He took sannyas from Pujapad Bhakti Sarvasva Giri Goswami Maharaj at Ashram Maharaj's Bhajan Kutir in Mayapur. There's an editor's note here which says Pujapad Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj is a disciple of His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada. Srila Maharaj used to stay in the Kovur Mutt. And each time we would pass Kovur by train, this is reminding me of our pastime with him. Every time we would pass Kovur by train, he would unfailingly come. Just turn off the sound.
Well, you don't need it anymore, right? That's fine.
Yeah, I don't need it. Yeah. So when we would pass through by train, he would unfailingly come to meet us with prasad in hand. Then he would also take us for darshan of the Kovur Mutt. Kovur. His disciple, Sri Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, who was still a child at that time, would also accompany him to the train station with prasad. They would visit our Hyderabad Mutt often. So now I'm telling, because this reminded me, the first time that I met him. The first time that I met Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj was on a train. And I'll tell you the story. It was the first time I came to India in 1975. We had just spent 2 weeks in Mayapur with our beloved Srila Prabhupada, and now we were going to Hyderabad because Srila Prabhupada had a big, huge pandal preaching program there. Were you there in 75? Yeah, so he had a big preaching program, and there must have been, then we went to Vrindavan. Yeah. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj, it so happened that like we had all these train cars, one after the other for the few hundred Western disciples. And I happened to be in the train car in the section directly, you know, like in the Indian train, you've got the aisle that goes by, you have the aisle, and then on one side of the aisle, you just have 2 seats facing one another. Then on the other side, you've got a place where there's 3 people, and sometimes they fit 6 people on a seat, you know, like that. And then that's also where you lay down. So, so it was Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Vishnu Jan Swami who were seated on those 2 seats. And because Tamal had been in India a lot, and he had met Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj before, probably in Mayapur and different places. Maybe Vyala Prabhu also met him back then.
I might have, but I didn't know who he was.
Yeah. So what happened was, Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj had arranged for prasadam for these few hundred devotees. They had baskets and, you know, and they came onto the train, and there was, I don't know how long the stop was, but it was probably a good, 20-minute stop or something, right? But they came onto the train, and I was on the train when Puri Maharaj came directly on the train, and when he saw Tamal and Vishnu Jan, then he came and embraced them, and they had some friendly talk, and very quickly he was distributing the prasadam. So that was the first time that I met him. And there's a very interesting story, because in the later years, probably 2004, around then, I had gone down to Jagannath Puri after Gaur Purnima. I had gone down to Jagannath Puri, and I remember Drishadumna, our godbrother, he was sannyasi then, Bhakti Sar, and we were on the train. And it was just like a second-class train. I think we were going from there to Calcutta or somewhere. I don't remember where we were going. Maybe we were going to Vrindavan. But at any rate, some devotees came and they said, "You know who's on this train? Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj." So I said, "Really?" So then, we went over through the doors in between the train cars and crossed into the next train car. We went 2 or 3 or 4 train cars down, and there was Srila Bhaktivinoda Puri Maharaj. And he was sitting in those, those 2 seats again, the same 2 seats. But what his servant, this is the way he liked to travel. He liked to travel in regular class, not, more expensive class. Just regular class, and they would put a foam rubber thing. He was very old then, and he would just lie there on the bottom seat, chanting and preaching to everybody, all the regular public of the Indians, and his servant would sit above, right? Because they have the luggage rack there, and that's also the bed. So when we came. We bowed down and, right there in the aisle and sat there. I was, "Oh, Maharaj, we're so happy and blessed to see you." And then I told him about that story, how I first met him. I said, Maharaj, you know that the first time that I met you was also on a train. And then I reminded him of that stop in 1975, and he completely remembered that, because that was a big event, you know. That was one of the first times that the Western devotees came. And because they were going through right nearby to his temple, he arranged that prasad. So Bhaktivigyan Bharati was remembering the same thing. How he came unfailingly every time and gave prasadam like that. So, yes. So his disciple, Bhakti Kamala Govinda Maharaj, who was still a child at that time, would also accompany him to the train station with prasad. They would visit our Hyderabad mutt often, so that's where we were going, was to Hyderabad. Lessons Bay becomes Radhanagara. Once, Srimad Bhakti Vijay Purushottam Tirtha Maharaj established a mutt in Vishakhapatnam in the area called Lessons Bay. Like a lesson, you're studying a lesson. Pujapad Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, Pujapad Narayan Maharaj, and myself attended the inauguration of the mutt and deity installation ceremony there. I suggested for them to change the name from Lessons Bay to Radhanagar, similar to Krishna Nagar. I felt very happy many years later when I was there on Maharaj's Avirbhav Titi, and I heard his disciple announce the name had been changed to Radhanagar. The next section is the last one, an illness pastime. There is another mutt in Puri established by Srimad Purushottam Tirtha Maharaj and later given to Puri Maharaj. There, Srila Puri Maharaj performed his illness pastime. By the way, that mutt is the mutt that's right near to the Gundicha temple. When you face the Gundicha, it's to the right, and you go down like one street, and there's the mutt there. And that's where Srila, our revered Bhakti Swarup Sridhar Maharaj, he's in charge of that mutt. He was placed in charge of that mutt. That's where he spends his time. So, yes. So there, at that mutt, Srila Puri Maharaj performed his illness pastimes. Yes, his samadhi is there in that mutt. Also, I remember when we went on parikrama in 2001 in Puri with Gurudev. We went to that mutt, and there he was. He was there, and he spoke something to our group. Yeah. So once, after becoming so ill that he was unable to eat or move, his disciples requested me to go and speak to him. They said, he accepts only Sharanamrita and nothing else. Because he has great affection for you, please encourage him to take something more. I went the very next morning and I asked, Maharaj, why have you given up eating and drinking? Then in a very low voice he explained, I have burning pain. I told his disciples to give him 1 or 2 spoons of mishri, sugar candy, with salve, that means aniseed, soaked in water every so often. When I met him again, after 2 to 3 days, he told me, I ate rice, brinjal, and jackfruit so far. His sevak confirmed this, but he admitted that he had only taken very little, next to nothing. Eventually they consulted with a doctor from Vishakhapatnam who prescribed him strong medicines to be taken with sweet lime juice. The sweet lime juice was not available in Puri at that time, so they used to get it from Bhubaneswar and bring it back to him. After some time he was restored to health and later traveled abroad to preach. Today is Srila Maharaj's disappearance day. I remember him and offer my obeisances to him. Gaur Premanandi, Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. Actually, I noticed on Facebook that their institution, I think they're called Chaitanya Mission. Yeah, Chaitanya. What?
I think it's Krishna Chaitanya Mission.
Yes, that's right, Krishna Chaitanya Mission. Anyway, they also have a beautiful temple right near to our Srila Prabhupada's Chandrodaya Mandir, and it's a very beautiful front of the temple. It's more close to the road, you know, and it's got this beautiful Panchatattva, painted with beautiful colors and everything, right there at the gate. Yeah, very nice temple there. So many times I've been with him when he's come to visit our parikrama, and Gurudev gave him a seat on the stage and requested him to speak, like that.
Wasn't there an incident where Papa took his disciples there, and after they left, he said,
Microphone.
there's two things we can learn from the Gaudiya Math. And I forget what they were. I think one was cleanliness and the other was, I forget, but he, as a result of going to Bhakti Vaibhav Puri's temple, Maharaj's temple, he said there are two things we can learn. Do you remember what they were?
No.
Another story?
So that was Prabhupada that said that. But at that time in 75, you mean?
Whatever time it was.
Okay. What I was going to say is that actually on their website, on Facebook, they advertised, they have a continual like 3 days Katha going on, you know, and like on Zoom, I think it's on Zoom, and they showed the pictures of the speakers. There's like 6 different sannyasis, and maybe there's other speakers as well, but that would be nice. But they'll probably all be in Hindi and Bengali, all of it, yeah. Okay, so now, all glories to Srila Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj. All glories to Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Mahatmya Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajana Ki Jai. Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Antaradvip Mayapur Simantadvip Godrundvip Madhyadvip Koladvip Ritudvip Janadvip Modadrumadvip Rudadvip Atmaka Shri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Navadvip Dham Parikrama Ki Jai. Parikrama Kari Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Chapter 1. The excellence of the Dham. Jaya Jaya Navadvipa Chandra Sachi Sutta. Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rai Avaduta. All glories to Sri Sachi Nandan, the moon of Sri Navadvip. All glories to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, the Avaduta. Jaya Jaya Sri Advaita Prabhu Mahashai, Gadadhar Srivas Pandit Jaya Jaya. All glories to Sri Advaita Charya Prabhu. All glories to Sri Gadadhar Pandit and Srivas Pandit. Jaya Navadvipa Dham Sarvadham Sar. Jaya Navadvipa Vasi Gaur Parivar. All glories to Sri Navadvip Dham, the essence of all holy abodes. All glories to the inhabitants of Navadvip, the family of Sri Gaur. Sakala Bhakta Pade Kariya Pranam, Sankepe Varniva Ami Navadvipa Dham. Paying my respects at the lotus feet of all devotees, I, Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur, will briefly describe Sri Navadvip Dham. Navadvipa Mandaler Mahima Apar, Brahma Adi Nahi Jane Varne Sadyakar. The glories of Sri Navadvip Dham are incomparable. If even Lord Brahma and others like him do not know its glories, who is able to describe them? Sahasra Vadane Shesh Varnite Akshama, Kudra Jiva Ami Kishe Hoiva Sakshama. If Bhagavan Shesha is unsuccessful in describing the glories of Navadvip Dham with his hundreds of mouths, then how can I, an insignificant living entity, succeed in doing so? Satyavate Navadvipa Mahima Ananta, Deva Deva Mahadeva Nahipai Anta. Truly the glories of Sri Navadvip Dham are unlimited. Even Mahadev, the god of the demigods, cannot reach their end. Tatapi Chaitanya Chandra Itcha Balavan, Se Itcha Vashe Bhakta Agyara Vidham. Nevertheless, the will of Sri Chaitanya Chandra is very powerful, and only according to his wish do the devotees submit their requests to others. Bhakta Gane Agya Dila Chaitanya Ichai Nadia Mahatmya Varni Bhaktera Kripai. According to the will of Sri Chaitanya, the devotees have instructed me to describe the greatness of Sri Navadvip Dham. I can do this only because of their merciful order. Ar ek katha ache guda atishai, kahite na itcha hoy na kahile noi. There is also another extremely confidential topic. Although I have no desire to disclose it, I cannot desist from telling it. Jaya Vadhi Sri Chaitanya Aprakata Hoilo, Dham Lila Prakashite Bhakti Agya Dilo. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concluded his manifest pastimes, he told the devotees to reveal the pastimes of Sri Navadvip Dham. Sarva Avatar Hoite, Guda Avatar, Sri Chaitanya Chandra Mor Vidita Sangsar. The descent of my most worshipful Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more confidential than all other incarnations of the Lord. This is well known throughout the entire universe. Guda Lila Shastre Guda Rupe Uktahoy, Abhakta Janer Chitte Nahoy Udoy. In the scriptures, confidential pastimes are described in a hidden way. Such pastimes do not appear in the hearts of non-devotees. Se lila sambandhe jata gudha shastra chilo, Maya Devi bahukal achari rakilo. Even though there were many confidential scriptures regarding these pastimes, Maya Devi kept them hidden for a long time. Aprakata shastra bahu rahe jata tata, prakata shastreo jata chaitanyera kata. Se sakala Maya Devi pandita nayana, avariya rake gupta bhave anukshana. The narratives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were described in many places, both in scriptures made known to the public, as well as in scriptures not known that were kept here and there. However, Maya Devi always kept them concealed from the eyes of the scholars. Gaurera Gambira Lila Hoile Aprakat, Prabhu Itchajani Maya Hoi Akapat, Uttaya Laila Jal Jiva Kshakshu Hoite, Prakashila Gaura Tattva E Jara Jagate. When Sri Gaur Sundar completed his profound pastimes, Maya Devi, being faithful to his will, she removed the covering from the eyes of the jivas, and she revealed within this material world the true nature of Sri Gaura, the Gaura Tattva. Gupta Shastra Anayase Hoilo Prakat, Guchila Jiver Jata Juktira Sankat. All hidden scriptures regarding this topic easily manifested, and the jiva's inclination to debate was also vanquished. Barai Dayalu Prabhu Nityananda Rai Gaur Tattva Prakashila Jivera Hijai. The supremely merciful Sri Nityananda Prabhu revealed Gaur Tattva in the hearts of the living entities. Tar Agya Pe Maya Chade Avaran Subhakta Pandita Gana Pai Shastradan. Jai Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Govinda Jiu Ki Jai. On Sri Nityananda Prabhu's order, Maya Devi removed the covering she had placed over the scriptures, and the learned pure devotees obtained the wealth of the scriptures. Ihate sandehajar nahoy kandan se abhaga brita kena daraya jivan. Why is that unfortunate person whose doubts are not removed in spite of hearing all this? Why is he uselessly maintaining his life? Je kale ishwara je kripa vitarai bhagyavanna bhagyavanta jana tahe baro sukhi hoy. A fortunate person becomes filled with happiness to receive the Lord's mercy at any time and in any way the Lord chooses to distribute it. Now are the symptoms of an unfortunate person. Durbhaga lakshan e jana sarvajan nija buddhi baro bali koriya ganan. We should all understand that one who thinks, I am the most intelligent of all, actually he is the most unfortunate of all. Ishwarer kripa nahi karai svikar kutarke mayar garte pade barabar. One who does not accept the mercy of the Lord repeatedly falls into the pitfall of the illusory energy through his false logic. So now comes the call of Nityananda Prabhu, who is the crown jewel among those giving praying. Esho he kalir jeev chara kuti nati nirmala gauranga prem loho paripati. Come, O living entities of Kali Yuga, leave all duplicity and accept the true process to achieve pure Gauranga prem. E bali nityananda dake barabar tabuta durbaga jana nakare svikar. Although Sri Nityananda Prabhu repeatedly calls out in this way, those who are unfortunate, they do not accept Gauranga prem. What is Nityananda calling out? Esho, Esho, come here, all you living entities of this Kali Yuga. Kalir Jeev. Chada Kutinati. Leave your Kutinati. Get rid of your duplicity. And simply Nirmala Gauranga Prem. Loho Paripati. Simply accept the true process to achieve pure Gauranga Prem. That's what Nityananda Prabhu is calling to us. All Kali Yuga Jivas. So although he repeatedly calls out in this way, those who are unfortunate, they do not accept Gauranga prem. Why do they not honor this prem? Please consider this very carefully. In this material world, all living entities are seeking happiness through logic, deliberation, yoga, and so on. Only to obtain happiness, some leave the materialistic life, they retire to the forest, and only to obtain happiness, kings wage wars with other kings. Only to obtain happiness, some run after women and wealth, and only to obtain happiness, some engage in arts and science. Some, having searched for happiness, they give up the desire for it and they learn how to tolerate miseries, while others dive into the ocean and they commit suicide to attain it. But Nityananda Prabhu lifts up both his hands and he calls out, "O living entities, come to me and leave behind the worries and the difficulties of karma and jnana. I will easily give you the happiness for which you are endeavoring so much, and I will take nothing in return. You will experience no difficulty. You will have no expenses, and you will not have to tolerate any dire sufferings. Leave all kinds of apprehensions. Simply sing the name of Gaur Hari and dance. There is no happiness equal to that which I will give to you. That happiness is always filled with pure bliss and is beyond all illusion." In this way, Nityananda Prabhu wants to distribute that prem, which is rarely attained even by Lord Brahma and others. And due to the bad results of their own past activities, unfortunate persons do not want to accept this prem. The bad results of unlimited fruitive activities are destroyed for those who even once utter the names of Gauranga Nitai. All of you, please listen to one more confidential topic. The treasure of Gaur Leela is the most significant attainment for the living entities of Kali Yuga. As Sri Radha Krishna, Sri Gauranga Gaur Hari enjoys eternal pastimes with the Sakhis in Vrindavan. Who enjoys it? Radha Krishna. And who is Radha and Krishna? Gauranga. Is Radha Krishna combined? So as Sri Radha Krishna, Gaur Hari enjoys eternal pastimes with the Sakhis in Vrindavan. Through the scriptures, the jiva can understand the true nature of Vraja Leela and the glories of Sri Radha Krishna's eternal pastimes in Braj. Krishna Nam, Krishna Dham, Mahatmya Apar, Shastrera Dvarai Jani Sakala Sansar. Through the scriptures, the entire world knows that the glories of Krishna's name and his abode are unlimited. Despite this, why is it that not everyone attains Krishna prem? Reflect upon this a little in your heart. Behind this question is a profound truth, which the living entities who are bewildered by the illusory energy, they do not deliberate upon. If someone does not attain prem, even after worshipping Sri Krishna for many lifetimes, it is clear that such a person has committed several offenses. If a living entity chants Sri Krishna's name without offenses, he attains Krishna prem without any obstacle. The most astonishing fact in regard to the incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that through him a jiva can attain the treasure of prem even in the presence of offenses. What did we just hear? That the most astonishing fact in regards to this incarnation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is what? That through him a jiva can attain the treasure of prem even in the presence of offenses. It just told that if someone can chant Krishna's name without offenses, he can attain Krishna prem. But the fact is that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can give that even in the presence of offenses. Now, Nitai Chaitanya Boli Jai Jivadake Suvimala Krishna Prem Anveshaye Take. The completely pure Krishna Prem, it searches for a jiva who calls out, "O Nitai, O Chaitanya." Everyone say that. That completely pure Krishna Prem is searching for a jiva who calls out. Offenses cannot disturb such a person because he is absorbed in pure Krishna Prem. Streams of tears begin to flow from his eyes. And after a short time, his offenses run far away of their own accord. His heart becomes pure and Prem develops within it. The offenses of the living entities in Kali Yuga are uncountable and very fearsome. And without chanting the name of Gaur, these jivas cannot be delivered. Therefore, the scriptures repeat loudly that apart from chanting the name of Gaura, there is no other way for the jiva's deliverance. Sri Navadvip Dham is the crown jewel of all holy places because Sri Gaur Chandra appeared there. In other holy places, an offensive person has to suffer the reactions of his aparats. But in Navadvip, offenses always remain far away. The evidence of this are the two brothers. Who? Yes. They obtained the mercy of both Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, even though they were committing offenses. What to speak of other holy places? Even in Braj, the offensive demons are punished. However, even if one unknowingly commits hundreds of offenses in Sri Navadvip, he can easily be delivered by the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Say, Jai Nitai, Jai Gaur. All sages consider Gaura Mandala to be glorious because such a holy abode as Sri Navadvip Dham is situated within its area. Heno Navadvipe by Jahara Vasati, Boro Bhagyavan se Labe Krishna Rati. One who resides in this Navadvip Dham is extremely fortunate. He attains loving attachment for Sri Krishna. That is called Krishna Rati. Any person who goes to Navadvip Dham will be freed from all kinds of offenses. All the scriptures proclaim that a person who simply remembers Sri Navadvip will attain the same result as a pilgrim who visits all holy places. One who visits Sri Navadvip Dham attains the treasure of Krishna Prem life after life. Those who go to Navadvip to engage in fruitive actions in an intellectual search for the Supreme or for any work, they will not have to experience repeated birth and death in this perishable world. The result of each step taken in Sri Navadvip is equivalent to performing millions of Ashvamedha Yagyas. This is also confirmed in all scriptures. A person who chants his mantra in Sri Navadvip will experience the deity of the mantra appearing personally in front of him and will easily cross the ocean of material existence. The result a yogi obtains after 10 years in any other holy place are obtained by staying in Navadvip for just 3 nights. That liberation acquired in other holy places through arduous practice of Brahma Gyan, meditation upon the impersonal absolute, it is obtained in Sri Navadvip by simply bathing in the Bhagirati Ganga. In Navadvip, people desiring release from rebirth in this world, mumukshus, they obtain the different kinds of liberation. Salokya, residing on the same planet as the Lord. Sarupya, obtaining a spiritual form similar to the Lord. Sharsti, obtaining opulence similar to the Lord's. Samipya, becoming his personal associate. And Jiva Brahma Rupa Aikya, Sayujya, or merging into the Lord's effulgence. This is for the people desiring release from rebirth in this world. They obtain these liberations without any kind of speculative knowledge and gyan. In Navadvip, material enjoyment and liberation always remain as maid servants at the pure devotees' divine feet. Devotees, they try to kick away bhukti and mukti, far away, but still bhukti and mukti do not leave the feet of the devotees. Oh brother, the result that one attains from residing for 100 years in the 7 holy places, Ayodhya, Mathura, Mayapuri, that's Haridwar, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, that means Ujjain, and Dwaravati, Dwarka. The result one attains from residing 100 years in the 7 holy places can be obtained by residing only 1 night in Sri Navadvip Dham. Sri Navadvip Dham ki jai. This Navadvip Dham is the essence of all holy places. In Kali Yuga, the living entity can easily cross the ocean of material existence by taking shelter of this holy abode. So, now we have reached the limit for today of this chapter. We're on verse 72. And the chapter has, 74 verses. But I'll stop here. So Sri Navadvipa Dham ki jai. Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Jai Shri Nityananda Mahajana ki jai. Jai Srila Jiva Goswami Pada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi.